Hi, Ginger. Nice to see you. Yes, I'm using the iPad tonight. The first time I've used the iPad to stream to YouTube. And I thought I would try the iPad tonight because I think it does a better job of focusing at macro distances. So we'll just move in and see how things look close. Hopefully we'll get a little better light. There we go. That's a familiar one from last night. The gray leaf roller, Syndemus afflictana. Syndemus afflictana. Hi, Ryan. Nice to see you. This is just sort of an experimental moth watch using my iPad for the first time. Could use a little more light, but I've got my ring light turned up to maximum, so that may be the best we can do. Hopefully you can see this moth, and I think the focus is pretty good. Not sure I can go any better, any closer. Here's another macro moth. This one's in the genus Ancyllis, A-N-C-Y-L-I-S. I think it's Ancyllis goodeliana, sometimes called Goodell's. Ancyllis. And this little tiny thing underneath, I'm just not sure. Kind of looks like it might be a leaf hopper. That's about as close as I can focus. Sorry, I was using the term macro, but of course I meant to say micro. All the small moths are called micro moths. And micro moths make up about half of them, the total number of moths in our fauna. And in the past, they've been largely ignored just because they were so small and difficult to study, and not a whole lot was known about them. Here's a nice red cross shield bug. It's kind of a red cross on its green back. Oh, here's a nice, this is a Gluphisia. Looks like one we saw last night. And I'm not sure if it is Ava maculata, called four-spotted Gluphisia, or there is another one, which is a bit rarer, that only comes out early in the spring, so I don't think it's that one. But it's probably four-spotted. Here's the Nick Newman wasp up here. These are a really difficult group. many hundreds of species here in New Brunswick, and many of them have never been named, have never, maybe a lot of them are known, but they haven't been described, so they don't have official names yet. There are lots of June bugs on the sheet here, which I've been kind of ignoring because nobody seems to want to look at June bugs. It's another red cross shield bug. If I can find it here. There it is. There's a pug moth. Pugs are a big group of moths that are difficult to identify the species. They all have basically the same shape. And they're all in the same genus, but it's just escaping me right now. Another red cross shield bug. What's down here? This is one I've seen many times, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull the name up or not. No, it's not coming to me. Here's another one. This is a common spring species. Okay, I think we're back. We lost the connection there a couple of times. I did a speed test here earlier, and it told me we had all kinds of bandwidth for a live stream. So here's our flame-shouldered dart that we saw last night. And some kind of a carpet moth behind him. Flame-shouldered dart. What do we have up here? Red cross shield bug. Who's this? Some kind of a beetle. I'm not sure what it is. It's got these beautiful yellowish, I think, yeah, yellowish femurs on its legs, and sort of orangish yellowish wash along the outside of the elytra, the wing coverings. Probably easily identified. Probably one I've seen many times that I just not able to recall the name. But I can easily look that one up. Oh, who are you? I think this is one of the Zales, Z-A-L-E or Z-A-L-E, for ginger. Just not sure which species it is, but I know I've seen this one a number of times. June bug. This one is called the barberry geometer. I think these are both gray leaf rollers, just different, just variations within that species. There's an interesting little beetle. Seems to have kind of orange patches on the shoulders. Flown away. June bug. What else do we have here? Take a look around the sheet here. Gosh, I should know the name of this one. It's so common in the spring, but I just haven't been looking at moths this spring, and the names are just escaping me. There's another one here, same species. Another one of these Gluphisia. I mentioned there's a couple possibilities. One is four-spotted Gluphisia avamaculata, and the other possibility is Littner's Gluphisia, which is Gluphisia littneri, Lintneri. There's a carpet moth. There's a few similar species, but I should know which one this is, but I don't off the top of my head. Species than the one we just looked at. I hope these, it's hard for me to tell how bright these are looking to you. If they're all too dark, I apologize. I don't seem to be getting a lot of light out of this ring light here, but June bug. Oh, here's a pair of crane flies that are mating. A lot of different species of crane flies. The beetle underneath them. Who's up here? It's a micro moth, some kind. I don't know why this doesn't want to focus on them, but focus on it. It's another really common spring moth, and I should know the name because I've seen it hundreds of times. Oh, this is a carpet moth called the red twin spot. Red twin spot. Some of them have that dark band across the wings, can be quite reddish. In others, it's chestnut colored or it can be even black. But the double spots out near the wingtips are a good ID feature. So this is red twin spot. And it's in the carpet moth group family. Ooh. Yes. It's a micro moth. I should recognize it again, but just drawing a blank at the moment. All right, what else do we have here? The neat thing about this is you can go back and forth from one side of the sheet to the other and see new things every time. This we looked at earlier, and I can't remember the name, but it's really, really common. Big wing is its common English name is something big wing. I just don't remember the first part. There's a carpet moth. This looks like a sharp angled carpet moth. Powdered. It's called powdered big wing. It's a very common moth. The one on the left. Sorry, this sheet is so dirty. It's the one I used last season, and I should have just thrown it away. I've washed it a couple of times, and I do have eight. I should have put it up today. It's a nice beetle, the one on the top. Well, that's a June bug on the bottom, which is a beetle, of course, too. A May beetle. The one on top looks like one we looked at earlier. Has some orange around the edges of the elytra. And it's some orange on the legs as well. It looks like Cormierville, which are the ground beetles. Huge family of beetles. Here's a caddisfly. These are a difficult group. Caddisflies are an order of insects to themselves and not well known at all. Many species have never been identified, described, or even found. I've been photographing a lot of caddisflies over the years, and there's a fellow in Germany who's a specialist in them who's been helping me identify a lot of them. carpet moth. Let's see who's down here. This is again a really common species that we've looked at earlier. I just can't bring up the name at the moment. This is another example of the same species. This one again, I think this one, the common name for it, oh, look at this beauty here. This is in the genus Aclaris. This one will be easily identified. I just don't remember again. It's in the genus Aclaris, A-C-L-E-R-I-S. And the one on top, the common name I think for this species is feather duster. Don't ask me why it's named feather duster. That's one of the common names for it. This one we looked at earlier, and I still don't remember the name, but I know it's a common one. Yes, feather duster, that's it, Ginger. What are you? There's a different one there. Oh yeah, I know that one. It's a micro moth. It feeds on pine. I just don't remember the name. If I do this for a few more nights, I'll get better at this. I really have been ignoring the moths this spring compared to the last 7 or 8 years when I've been spending so much time looking at moths. Beetle, small, very small beetle. Probably the same species. Very small beetle. These, I think, with the feathery antenna, are a type of midge. Ichneumon wasp again, the same one that we looked at earlier. Oh, there was a nice green leafhopper, briefly, that came in. I don't know if you noticed it, by the Ichneumon wasp. So let me look closely here to see if there's a leafhopper. If I can find it. Leafhoppers are tiny, but they can be very colorful. Most of them are, actually. There it is. It hopped away. I have a close-up lens I can clip onto my iPad. And I'll try that another time. I don't have it on my person. That's a moth we looked at a few minutes ago that flew off at the time. Sure looks familiar, but I can't name it. Crane flies are still here. Ginger asked if the crane flies will lay eggs. Not to my knowledge, not here on the sheet anyway. But there are lots and lots of moths that lay eggs on the sheet. And that's what a lot of the spotting is on the sheet. Actually, it's remnants of where eggs were laid in the last year. Here's a nice little micro moth, if we can get in to see it closely. Twitching his antennae. These ones that have long forelegs, makes them stand up on the front end. Most of them are, he's gone. Most of them are in the genus Calyptera. Don't remember. Gray leaf roller again. Gray leaf roller. Here's our beautiful flame-shouldered dart. A crane fly going by. This is a micro moth in the genus Ancyllis, Ancyllis. There's a leafhopper. It's a green one. I forgot I could zoom in with by squeezing the screen. Here's oh, he's gone. That's the little Calyptera that we saw earlier. With the long front legs that make it stand up high on the front end. Any species. That one's probably quite identifiable because of the nice patterning on the back, on the wings. Just doing a quick look around to see if there's anything different or new. This is a moth. I can't remember the name, of course, but I know it feeds on apple trees. I think this is a beetle. No, it's a bug. Can't see it well enough. I need to figure out a way to get a bit more light. Here's something new. But, of course, I'm not going to recall the name. But it's a very distinctive one that's very rare in New Brunswick. I seem to be about the only one that gets it regularly at my moth sheet. This is, I think that's a leafhopper there of some kind. Okay, Ginger. You can help me identify some of these. This one's a piece of cake to identify. It's just slipping my mind, the name of it. Okay, I said I was going to do this for 30 minutes, so 35 now. Probably shouldn't push my luck. The iPad is working well for me, and I have a ring light taped onto the iPad, so that's what's providing most of the light. Of course, I have a pole lamp here as well. Just a regular 60-watt light bulb in it. This is a fluorescent ultraviolet light here that is only 15 watt and doesn't really provide a lot of light, but apparently it attracts insects. UV light is what moth watchers like to use. This is a UV light up here as well. This is a 50-watt UV light. An LED UV light. This one is a fluorescent UV light. And this light seems to attract small things, especially like the small moths. Leafhoppers are always attracted most to this light. Small beetles. Not sure why that is, but This is where if I just can only look at one place on the sheet, I would always choose to look around the fluorescent bulb. It's an interesting fly there. There's a leaf hopper, gone. Caloptera, a beetle. A crane fly still mating. It's the same pair. They just changed location. Here's something new, I think. Yeah. That's an interesting pattern, and I have seen this. But I'm not going to be able to remember the name, but I can look it up easily. It's a bug of some kind. Bugs are kind of difficult, and not many people spend much time learning them, so it's a bit tricky to get IDs for a lot of them. But there are specialists that are willing to help, especially at iNaturalist. Well, ginger bugs are like this is a bug right here, this red cross shield bug. They are insects. They're in the whatever, I guess insects are an order. They're just a family within insects. And they're often confused with beetles. Here's a beetle right here. Oh, here's a beautiful micro moth. Another common one, but I'm not going to be able to pull up the name. Could be eye-spotted bud moth. One final look. Who's this? Just flew in here. Looks like some kind of a lady beetle. Probably an Asian lady beetle, but it's hard to see the pattern on it. Just hang on there a second. See if I can get a better view of it. Oh, it's eye spotted. Pretty sure this is the eye spotted lady beetle. Wish we could get a better view of it, more light. There we go. It's a bit better. Yep, that's a eye-spotted lady beetle. I've got a June bug on my neck. Okay, I think I was going to say, I think we'll call it a night. I always want to take another look and another look. There's a nice beetle there, beautiful pattern. McNewman wasp, same one. A leaf hopper right there. Actually, I don't think that is a leaf hopper. Gone. This is a leaf hopper. Gray leaf roller again. Kind of a fly. Gray leaf roller in there. Red cross shield bug. Midge. Gray leaf roller. Leaf hopper. Probably a midge of some kind there. Unknown fly. All right. One more quick look. Carpet moth. It's a large group of beetles, the click beetles. They do make a loud clicking sound, and if you pick them up, put them in your hand. I'm not sure exactly how they do it, but they have a very rapid movement and a loud click. This one seems to have orange antenna, orangish. Nice. Let's see what this fellow is here. Ooh, this is a tiny click beetle of some kind. Sorry, I just don't have enough light to... Get the feeling there's some coloration around the edges of the elytra. There's a June bug right here on my... Sorry, I hope I didn't creep anybody out. Cats fly again. This looks like a different species of crane fly down here. Oh, darn it, I scared it. And who are you? Oh, it's the same species we've been looking at, just a different pattern. Okay, June bug. You wouldn't believe how terrified I was of June bugs most of my life. And through years of training, recently I've overcome that fear. There's a cochillid moth of some kind in the family Cochillidae. I think we saw that species last night. Anyway, I've overcome my fear of June bugs, and now I don't mind if they land on me. Oh my God, look at this beautiful sphinx moth that just flew in. These are large moths, as you probably know, and I think we have about 30 species of, or 25 species of sphinx moth in New Brunswick. This one, I recognize the pattern as a common one, but I just don't remember if it maybe twin spotted sphinx. It helps a bit to see the pattern of the underwing, which is of course folded underneath the forewing. We're just basically, the only thing we're seeing is the forewing. The underwings are hidden below. But even just using the forewings, we'll be able easily to put a name on this. Sphinx moths always have big, big bodies, big fat bodies. Nicely patterned wings. Often, well, not often, but quite a few species have sort of scalloped edges to their wings, terminal edges. A lot of the sphinx moths don't even feed as adults. They're short-lived. That goes for a lot of other moths as well. Other members of the family, the Sphingidae, the sphinx moths, feed on nectar. You can see them feeding at flowers. There's several species that are day flying, including hummingbird moth, which is a type of sphinx moth. I often see them we see them a lot at our lilac bush. They come to a variety of flowers. Great blue heron is calling in the background. I don't know if you're hearing that. This little beauty is still here. And we have to figure out. I know its common name, the first part is small or little. I think it's small. And there are only 2 species in that genus found in New Brunswick, and both of them are rare. Sometimes if you're careful with your finger, you can coax a sphinx moth to open its wings a bit to show you the pattern of the underwing. There's one spot. There is a species called one-eyed sphinx. You can see some pink at the base of the underwing. Oop, I just got a moth down inside my t-shirt, flying around my belly. Anyway, we've seen enough. I don't want to make it fly away. We've seen enough to identify. And I'm just not sure. One-eyed sphinx, small-eyed sphinx. I don't think it's small-eyed. Probably one-eyed sphinx. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Flame-shouldered dart. This powdered big wing that we saw earlier. One there, another one there. Caddisfly, midge. So much dirt on this sheet, I have trouble telling the insects from the dirt. Red cross shield bug again. Powdered big wing. Big wing is all one word, Jake. Ginger. This looks like, I'm not sure if it's a March fly. I don't know. So many of the flies, there's so many species. I don't even know all the families well. This is a caddisfly here. They often have very long antennae. Here's flame-shouldered dart. Well, we're getting close to an hour. Of course, nobody's obliged to stay. Feel free to leave anytime. Oh, here's a beautiful ground beetle. Nice green species. And I've seen that one before, and I don't remember, but can look it up easily. I'm afraid, oh, here's a nice Zale, Z-A-L-E. This is a different one. Ooh, what was that? Oh, darn. The Zale just flew. There were two moths. There was a Zale and there was another one that landed beside it. That was very interesting and different, but they both flew, unfortunately. But probably not far. Let me look around here. They become difficult. There's our red twin spot again. Which is a type of carpet moth. Who's this? Oh, this is different. It's I think it's one of the carpet moths, but it's Hydriomena is the genus, I think. Not getting much light. To play with the sheet here a bit. What was that? That just landed there. That was different. June bug. Ooh, here's a beauty. This is one. There's many species in the same genus that are, and they're all green. This one is, I think it's called the blueberry looper or something like that. But a good field mark on this species is the forward white bar is only on the forewing. It doesn't cross the hind wing. See, on this moth, the wings are held completely open, so you can see both sets of wings, the forewings and the hind wings. Here's a different one. this is one we saw last night. Ginger, I think this is one of the ones I sent you a photo of last night, and already it's escaping me, the name of it, but we had a name for it last night. This is not the same individual that we saw last night, but I think it might be the same species. No, maybe it's not. Yeah, the one we saw last night I was thinking of was Major Sallow, but this is not a sallow. I think this could be a loop, a dagger. Acronicta, the genus Acronicta. Another one to look up. Our Sphinx moth is still here and very comfortable. This is a Hydriomena that we looked at a few minutes ago. Just heard a thrush calling overhead. Thrushes migrate at night. It's almost the 1st of June, so there aren't many thrushes that migrate this late. Swainson's, I guess, is most likely. Well, actually, it didn't sound like a Swainson's thrush. So here's our eye-spotted lady beetle again. Pretty obvious where the name comes from. So for anyone that hasn't, here's a Caloptera. This is another one of the Calopteras, or Caloptilla. I just don't remember exactly how the genus goes. Has these very long forelegs that make it stand up way up high in the front. This one, I think the common name has the word cherry in it, so it probably feeds on cherries. Yeah, there's a whole group, Ginger, almost all in the genus Caloptilla, that stand up on their forelegs like this. This is very small. I'll show you my fingernail, my index fingernail, for comparison. See how tiny it is. My fingernail is about 13 millimeters wide, the nail itself from side to side. So this moth would be about 8 or 9 millimeters long, maybe. The beetle. Cypress shield bug again, common. A nice micro moth that we've seen plenty of tonight, but I can't recall their name. This is an ancillus. It's a micro moth in the genus Ancillus, I believe. The one we looked at earlier a few times. So I'm kind of hoping if I do this a few more times, maybe we'll attract an expert, somebody that can help us to identify some of these. I've been photographing moths on this shed here. Well, I started off photographing moths over at our house, which is right there, at the back door light in 2015. Here's the moon up here, by the way. Apple tree, that's blossoming. Just starting to blossom the last day or two. So I started photographing moths at the back door light. That was attracted to the shingles by that light that you see there. I photographed. And in the summer of 2015, I think I photographed around 500 species. I started in June and just photographed every night from June, July, August, September, October, until the last moths were flying in November. And photographed there for a couple more years just at the light. Then I put up a moth and got some ultraviolet lights, like you see here. So I've been photographing here in the yard for, well, since 2015, so I suppose this will be, I know, 8 or 9 years. And I've been able to look up and identify a lot of the moths. And the ones I can't identify, well, actually all of them I've posted on iNaturalist, and had a lot of help with on Facebook also. And so far I have about 1,080 species in the yard here. Several ichneumon moths here now. Well, this is a different micro moth. Anyway, iNaturalist is a really good place to post your sightings, because there are experts from all over the world in all different groups, people that know particular genera or species groups, and eventually you'll get it's a nice hook tip. This is a arched, I think this one's called arched hook tip. It's closed its wings now. These are beautiful. Arched hook tip. Yep, hook tip, all one word. We have a couple of other species. Rose hook tip and two-line hook tip. There's our blueberry looper again. Ooh, a rosy maple moth just came in, but it's it's gone already. They're big chunky moths that are pink and yellow. He'll be back. Yeah, I'm calling this blueberry looper, but maybe it's called, oh, here he is. Why can't I find it? There it is. Rosy maple moth. They feed on maple, obviously. The caterpillars do. Many, many moths actually are named for their caterpillars. Moths, like so many insects, spend most of their life in the immature stage. So moths and butterflies spend much more time as caterpillars than they do as flying adults that we call butterflies and moths. Hey, there's JBCB. Chloe, maybe? How are you? It's getting up close to midnight here in New Brunswick. And I was going to do a 30-minute moth watch, but we're up to 75 minutes now. And I'm so addicted to this. I mean, I could do it all night. The first few years I started moth watching, I just had to force myself to go to bed like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Of course, at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's starting to get light, so you don't have much choice. But now that I'm older, I usually give up around midnight. Depends on the night. You get some nice warm nights in June and July. The number of moths is just amazing. It's just hard to walk away. Ooh, what's this? It's a nice bug. Another bug, another beetle, I mean. Good night, Ginger. Good night, Chloe. Thanks for hanging out. I'll be calling it a night pretty soon. There's Sphinx moth again, and our rosy maple moth. Common species that I can't remember the name of. Okay, Chloe and JB, you're staying for a bit. Great. This is kind of an experimental stream. I'm very interested in moths, but never really tried to do a live stream. So giving it a go tonight. I'm using my iPad. I have a ring light taped to the iPad. And I have the iPad and the ring light plugged into a power bank in my shirt pocket. We have a moth, well, just a white cotton sheet here, draped on a wooden frame. Back up so you can see it on one side of our old shed. A fluorescent ultraviolet light on the left. An LED ultraviolet light in the upper right corner. And just a regular old pole lamp. I paid $2 for it at a yard sale with a, I think it's a 60 watt bulb. Having a bit of trouble getting enough light, but the iPad needs a bit of time to boost the lighting. I've got my ring light turned up full blast. Some kind of a midge. Lots of June bugs, which you probably don't want to look at, but of course June bugs are beetles, not bugs. And what else do we have? Oh, here's a zail down here, some kind of a zail. If I can get it to stay put while I turn the sheet a bit so you have a better view. Not sure which species of zail. Here's a nice little patterned, nicely patterned micro moth here. I'm rusty. It's kind of like only the second night this spring I've been looking at moths, and I'm getting old, forgetful, and I'm just not pulling up the names. But this is a really distinctive species and easy to identify. Just not easy to remember when you're working with so few brain cells that I have firing. There's another, is this another zail up here? I think so. Another, would be a different species. See if I can get a better view of it. No, it's going to go up inside there. Anyway, it's just a cotton sheet draped over a wooden frame that's 4 feet, about 4 feet by 4 feet. Clipped on these cheap clips that you can buy at the dollar store. And this is an old sheet from last year that's so dirty. I do have a couple of clean sheets I should change. A beetle of some kind. Very small beetle. Oh, he flew. What are you there? Okay, we looked at this one earlier. Don't know that name either. Here's one that we looked at earlier. Some kind of a dagger, I believe, but I don't know which species. These are, as This one's called gray leaf roller. Gray leaf roller. It's a eye-spotted lady beetle. This is a arched hook tip. I don't know if you saw that earlier. We had one a few minutes ago. Very distinctive moth. Arched hook tip. It's a nice little micro moth. I think this one is, I can't remember, maybe eye-spotted bud moth. It's called a red twin spot type of carpet moth. This is, don't know. Could be the brother moth. I think that's what it is. There's Ale. Beautiful Sphinx moth is still here. See if he'll show us his hind wing. It's got a big eye spot. Some pink, a little bit of pink. The base of his hind wing. Oh. This is the rosy maple moth. It's a nice moth coming up my shirt here, now on my beard. Don't know where it went. It's some kind of a sphinx moth. You'll probably see it on the sheet here in a minute. Just do another quick look around here. There's somebody hiding up underneath the light. This is I think this is a pine, what's it called, a white pine sphinx moth. It's not very common. I've only seen this a few times. It's in a difficult place to see well. I think the caterpillars of this species feed on white pine. Big crane moth, crane fly, I mean. On my iPad, now he's on my shirt. This is four-spotted gluphisia moth, or Lintner's gluphisia. I'm not sure. I think it's four-spotted. June bug. Here's a nice sail on the shingles here. Oh, this is a green dusted sail. It's a real beauty, this one here. Don't see it very often. Green dusted sail. There's an arched hook tip. And powdered big wing. I've got so many insects and bugs crawling over me. This really used to creep me out, but a bit of not from a professional, but from just by using some medicine techniques and the power of the mind, I've been able to overcome all my insect phobias. I used to be terrified of bees, dragonflies, June bugs, oh my God. And now it's just a pleasure to be close to bees. I pick up dragonflies all the time. I net them and photograph them. June bugs don't bother me anymore. Well, sometimes, once in a while, I have an instant reaction to flinch, but I quickly come to my senses, realize I have nothing to fear. That's a different moth there. I haven't seen that one before this evening. I think it's in the genus Moth, but don't know that genus very well. And who's this? Just can't seem to get much light. Don't recognize that pattern. Another mystery. I just remembered the name of this one. We looked at it several times before and I couldn't remember, but it's called a small bird dropping moth. Quite rare in New Brunswick. This is right at the very northern edge of the range. It's kind of a special one to see. All right, well, it's some raccoons calling, fighting out in the cove. I think we're now past midnight here in New Brunswick, so it's time to say goodnight. Chloe and JB, if you're still there, thanks for tuning in. And anyone else who's there, I'll be trying to do this again, maybe as soon as tonight. We're supposed to have a very hot day tomorrow. It's supposed to be into the low 90s. Fahrenheit, about 33 Celsius. Thanks, Chloe. My pleasure. Glad you guys could stop by. I'll just show you the apple tree that's just starting to blossom here beside us. And the moon. Very hazy. It's been hazy here all day. The wind is from the southwest. We have a big forest fire burning in southwestern New Brunswick, which might be the source of the haze in the air here. It's about 150 miles from here. There's also a big forest fire near Halifax, Nova Scotia. So I don't think that's the source of the haze. And, quite a bit of haze from wildfires in Alberta last week and the week before. This is our house, by the way, over there. All right, well, good night. Thanks again. And perhaps tomorrow night we'll do this again. I started tonight at 10:30 p.m. local time. Which is 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, 7:30 Mountain, 6:30 Pacific. All right, Chloe, good night. Take care. Thanks again. Good night, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.